the Star Wars Battlefront beta is wrapping up. I think my expectations, I think I'm like 0.1 points of expectation higher, just a little bit more excited than I was for Battlefront because I was really excited about this game, and I've played all the modes, and so they all met my expectations. I hadn't played the one where the pods drop and you got to go collect the pods. That was new on Solist. But I'm excited. There's lots of mixed opinions out there about Battlefront. So I want to find someone. Who do you think is the most negative on this couch? Anybody negative on Battlefront? Anybody not feeling it? A lot of people aren't.
No, we're not Huber.
Yeah, only Huber's not feeling it.
Yeah.
So he's the only person in this office who isn't in Battlefront.
So you want me to relay some Huber points?
Ian raised his hand about it.
Not into Battlefront.
Oh, he's lukewarm on it.
But were you into it? Were you into it beforehand? Yes or no? Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. So you're like me.
It's just
like,
business as usual. Yeah.
Yeah. Business as usual.
I think it's not comparing well to previous Battlefront games, and I think it's not comparing well to Battlefield.
Well,
I think
we're comparing a beta to finished games.
Yes, and I think that's what's happening. That's where the negativity comes from, is comparing it to those.
Yeah,
to
so when I see people complaining about the balance, like Hoth is obviously that's where you want to be. Like Hoth is really fun, and a lot of people are saying that the balance is kind of tipped in favor of the Empire versus the
not even
the
kind
Rebels.
of tipped. It is very tipped.
And
that's
but
kind of
that's
the situation.
But that's a beta. Like that's what you have betas for, to balance that stuff. So like I'd be frustrated if I'm like, I'm on the Rebel side, so it's just like, okay, I'm stuck. Like that happens in Tavern Brawls in Hearthstone, where it's just like some are just totally one-sided, and you're like, oh well. It's just like a flip of a coin to see like what side you're going to be on. But they can fix that, before the game comes out. Like that's why they make betas. Like I think they even commented. EA said like we are aware of that and we're gonna fix that. But there's also part of me that's like, I mean, maybe this doesn't work for stats or something. I guess if you can be on either side and it's even. If like you're on the Rebel, you're going to be on the Empire the next round. So like you're going to get that shot. I kind of like it. Rebels lose that battle in canon.
That is
it's like kind of like that. Like
it's canon.
That it's tough. Like it means that like if you're in the Empire and you're like, yeah, we're kicking ass, and then like a snowspeeder takes it down. You're like, oh, good job, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's a big moment. I actually did that, and I was so proud of myself.
Nice, dude.
So yeah, it got me thinking. Like, is there a place for not like totally one-sided, but like maybe certain modes that kind of lean. It's tough. Like, I mean, maybe you can get more points if you're a Rebel and you actually get the win.
They announced the mode that's 7 people versus 1 hero.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. That is completely.
That sounds cool to me.
That's fine. Yeah.
Far more interesting. That's when you take it away from like the Battlefield that everybody knows, and you start putting it towards like a little bit more interesting gameplay, not just the setting of Star Wars.
So speaking of Battlefield, you play a lot of Battlefield. You and Huber play a bunch. How does this compare? Does it need to? Like, I guess for people that are used to the Battlefield experience,
because it's made by DICE, people will compare it to Battlefield. From what I've played, it doesn't seem as deep as Battlefield yet. I mean, you can't get in a chopper with someone and have them fly around and shoot everywhere. But I mean, from the beta, it seemed deep enough for me from what I wanted from it. Like the guns felt different enough to me, and just having the heroes in it was probably my favorite thing about this thing. Like nothing is radder than playing as Luke, than gunning down Vader on Hoth and fighting, then killing him. You're just like, I'm done.
Can you describe your fight?
So it was on the last phase of Hoth or whatever. So I got Luke, and I saw Vader really far away, and I just beelined him. He beelined it to me also. So like everyone's shooting, just like TIE fighters are blowing up and shit, and everything's going nuts, and it was just so surreal. And I was like, dude, I'm never gonna have an experience like this, or I won't have something like this for a long time.
And what do? You just mash square?
Yeah, like I force pushed him, and he was like trying to choke me. He threw his lightsaber and jump over it. They were just like clashing and everything. It's like really crazy and really funny. Like you're killing stormtroopers or whatever on the side and everything like that too, and you just kill them, and you're like. And he like kneels down. You're just like, yes. Then some like AT-AT just shoots you and you just die.
Yeah,
you're like, I don't care, man. That was so rad.
But how great has that been on social media? There was like Luke. I saw like ad like steps on Luke at one point.
Yeah.
Like Vader gets like an A-wing to the face. Like I saw like Luke like takes out an AT-ST at one point. Like somebody posted, a couple people did that. Like I think those are great moments, and I think it's been an overall successful beta because moments like that have come out of it. And I think
I've liked it more than I thought I would actually.
But it's just again the question of balance. Like, and one of the things that I've struggled with because I don't play enough Battlefields, I can't tell like, am I just not playing enough Battlefield and like I really like Battlefield and need to play more of it, or is this just
different.
It's just Star Wars and Battlefront? Because like there's a chaos to it that like when I play Call of Duty, like there's definitely a momentum, lots of running. It's lots of just like corridors and just get to somebody and like have good aim, have the right equipment. Like be able don't just flee your teammates. Whereas like in Battlefront, I'll turn the corner and like 10 stormtroopers come running around the corner, and I'm just like, what? You know,
Yeah,
but at the
it's
same
dead.
time, like, I'm not upset. That's
Yeah.
amazing. You know, like
Yeah.
I've never seen something like that. Or even the opposite. You know, it's like running behind a bunch of rebel soldiers going through the base
yeah,
at
it's
Hoth.
so fun.
So is that just classic Battlefield? Is there anything more special that's been added to Battlefront?
I think that the less is more but the less is more kind of factor is kind of helping this game. I think Battlefield has a lot of issues that most people don't really like, and so they stay away from it. They go for the more frantic Call of Duty type stuff, and I don't feel like there's a whole lot of time wasted in Battlefront. Star Wars, I guess we should just say. It is kind of very, to the point. Like the rush mode in Battlefield is a lot more long and drawn out. Like you kind of you have almost load screens in between sequences, and it's like a string of 3 or 4 events where there's attack, defend, and that's similar to the AT attack that we were just playing in the beta. But that attack actually gets through pretty quickly. You get in, you get out, and you have your time. To get those big tentpole moments that you kind of only had once every month in Battlefield. In Battlefront, you kind of have them once or twice per session. There's just some really awesome stuff going on, but it doesn't take forever to get through. That being said, I'm sure they probably have, the other 8 modes or whatever that they teased us with in the menus. Some of those probably have more drawn out sequences to attract that Battlefield audience back in. But yeah, for the most part, it actually feels a lot different, and I love the atmosphere. I don't know if you guys played it on PC.
No, I should have tried it.
So I had the chance to play it on PC with headphones, like the full crazy 5.1 headphones or whatever, and I gotta tell you, man.
Yeah,
sound,
atmosphere is a great word, man. It's just the sound effects, just like having, TIE fighters and X-Wings just flying right overhead.
How it feels to actually shoot the guns with a click or even with the pull of the trigger. Like, it's different. It's a laser rifle. You don't reload, but they overheat. But it just feels different in enough ways that I'm just like, this is like, I could play Battlefield, go play Battlefront, and they feel like 2 different games, even though they share a lot of similarities,
Yeah.
of course. Of course they do.
One just quick difference, it might not matter, but like in Battlefield, you don't really care what team you play as, right? Like you want to be on the same team as Huber,
Not usually,
and you want to maybe control like some objects versus the other. But like Rebels versus Empire, like
It's
Battlefield's
like
never had that
different.
before.
It's very different.
So like that's definitely you might be like Rebels, I want to be on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's tricky when you're playing a lot. Like sometimes when I jump into a match, I forget what side I'm on, and I go like shooting after a stormtrooper, and it's like, oh wait, no, I was that last time. Kyle, you're gonna say something. Wrap it up, Kyle. Wrap it up. Star Wars.
Here's the thing. Competitively, it makes more sense to be in third person. I put myself in first person because I just like being in this world more. And that's the craziest thing is like, in every other video game that you are some superhero, you know what I mean? You're the one guy who's capable of killing off all the other guys. For some reason, you're just better at shooting people than anyone else could possibly be. In this game, you're just a grunt. You get to be in first person. You get to live the life of some dumb rebel who died. Yeah. And I think that's actually pretty cool. As someone who mostly likes single-player games, I was digging the multiplayer, not even as a competitive game, but as just like a cool video game to play as.
Because you do get to live a moment, and that's basically the moment, like when the Death Star 2 blows up and you see all this rebel soldiers on Endor, like, woo! See them all cheer, like on Hoth. They're like, the first transport's away, yeah! They all cheer, like, you're one of them. Like, you get to play that character.
Yeah.
And like, I love it. Like it's, a lot of times in multiplayer games, I rate them in, just personally based on how upset I am when I die, and how willing I am to just jump back in. And like, when I log into this game and die instantaneously, like I played for 0.5 seconds, and then it just turns over and there's an AT-AT. It's like, well, yeah, that guy, it just spawned in the wrong spot. It was like, I'm going to spawn on that soldier, and that soldier was just about to get hit by, an AT-AT, and it's like, I'll take it, because again, that atmosphere, that thing that like at any moment an A-wing can just hit you. At any moment, some grenade that you didn't even see, or some gun placement some guy got in can just completely own you. But sound effects, and we haven't even talked about, this is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. I mean,
it looks great, runs great.
Yeah.
Lighting, just the textures, like everything shining off the snow. The scale of like when that first starts, and that AT-AT, not the one that like walks right by the camp, but the guy in the distance. Seems like a background, seems like one of those things in like Mass Effect you would just see like in the background happening, and like that's actually in real, like you can't get over there as a soldier, but if you're in a TIE fighter, an X-Wing, like you can fly over by it. Yeah, scale, atmosphere, I love it. So yeah, for people that don't love it, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be playing the hell out of it when it comes out, and I'm glad you guys dug it.
Yeah.
It was a pleasant chat.
And a smooth beta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very smooth beta. Yeah,
if it's still out, get
We'll
in when you
see.
can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.